Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, let us all welcome on stage the first keynote speaker of the first session, Mr. ABHINEET SHAH.
Distinguished dignitaries, stalwarts from the event and entertainment industry, and the organizers of EMA, and my dear friends, a very good morning to you all. I thank the organizers of today's conclave, especially Rahul sir and Neeraj sir, for inviting us and for having me here. A few days back, I had forwarded them a very boring Word file, which is supposed to be my profile. And suddenly, that boring Word file is converted into a very beautiful introduction. Thank you, Pooja ji, for introducing me so nicely and so in a dignified way. The captains for today's conclave has appointed me, or rather put me up as the opening batsman. I'll try not to get out on a duck. A jigsaw puzzle. I am sure most of us have played a jigsaw puzzle sometime in our lives, right? So it's basically a big picture cut into small pieces and of various shapes and maybe sizes at times also. And a player has to meticulously arrange all these small pieces together carefully to make or complete the entire picture. Friends, event management is very similar to a jigsaw puzzle. At any given point of time, for a medium or a large size event, there could be as many as 50 to 60 different vendors, artists, performers, service providers, various groups of people who are involved in creating that particular event. And that one person who makes all these people come together on one day, at one time, make sure that they deliver what they have committed and create a successful event is the event manager. Now, if you played a jigsaw puzzle, you realized that if even one piece is missing, which normally is the case when we have a jigsaw puzzle, the picture is not complete. Or if two pieces are interchanged, still the picture does not get complete. Event management is similar to that. If out of those 30, 40 vendors, even if one vendor does not perform his duties properly, the event is not successful. If one vendor does not show up at all, the event cannot be successful. So the responsibility of the event manager is to make sure that all these people come together on one day at one time and perform their respective duties and make that event successful. Such event managers are successful event managers, and some of the finest examples are sitting here with us today. But the whole, it sounds a little difficult, but it is not actually as difficult. So, how does one go about getting the expertise, the knowledge, and the confidence to manage this particular challenge? The answer lies in event education, which is a combination of classroom learning and practical training. Today, as we gather here among some of the finest stalwarts of the event and the entertainment industry, it is only befitting to remember and honor a name that has truly changed the course of event education in India. I am talking about NIEM, the Institute of Event Management, Asia's very first institute dedicated to professional event education. NIEM is not just an institute, it is a dream. A dream to give our industry a proper identity, respect, and a pool of trained professionals who would shape its future. And that dream was envisioned and brought to life by none other than Dr. Hoshi Bhiwandiwala, who is fondly remembered as the father of event management in India. Dr. Hoshi was more than just a founder. Thank you so much. Dr. Hoshi was more than just a founder. He was a mentor, a guide, and a true visionary. At a time way back in 2000, when event management was not even considered as a valid career, he believed in the future of event management. He fought for setting up the education system of event management, and he gave it structure, dignity, and recognition. Though Dr. Hoshi is not with us physically today, may God bless his soul, his spirit continues to live in every classroom of NIEM, in every student who has passed out, and in every success story that comes from this industry. His life's mission was not just to create an institute, but to create a family, a movement, and a legacy. For all of us in the event fraternity, NIEM and Dr. Hoshi's vision are constant reminders that education and the industry together can work wonders. I'm sure my fellow event professionals will agree that the event industry is fast evolving. In terms of creativity, technology, and the experiences are changing constantly. Even the clients and audiences today have grown, have matured, and are expecting event managers to deliver unique and creative concepts year on year. Moreover, we are living in a time where the event and entertainment sector is not only growing tremendously, but also transforming every single day. From hybrid concerts that have a mix of live and virtual audiences all over the world, to weddings that are using drones, holograms, and AI-powered personalizations, to corporate events that emphasize on sustainability and carbon neutrality. The industry is fast evolving. What works today may be outdated tomorrow. Hence, the need to be creative in all aspects, the need to keep updating, and the need to evolve is very high. I remember way back in 2016 or 17, I was associated with a corporate event for a tea brand product launch. Now, the event production team had created a huge cutout of the Red Fort as the backdrop of the stage, complete with the grooves on the top, the windows and the doors and the works kind of thing. The AV was designed in such a way that only the solid part of the fort was considered or was taken into consideration for the projection. So much so that even the windows and the doors of the fort did not have anything projected on it. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. That was the new age concept of video mapping. Similarly, a lot of innovative technologies, creative concepts are getting introduced in our industry every day. Which brings us to two very important questions. And that is, how can professionals or budding event managers keep up with this fast-pacing industry? And how can, on the other hand, the industry get well-trained and experienced professionals? The solution, in our opinion, is in industry-institute collaborations. Institutes mold the talent and the industry applies it. The bridge that connects the two will ensure that event graduates are not just degree holders, but they are well-trained industry-ready professionals. With this bridge, they can transform into professionals who can thrive from day one in the event industry. NIEM since the year 2000 has been successfully training budding event managers, making them capable to provide their talent to companies who are striving to deliver what the audiences and the clients want, and also make a difference in the event and the entertainment industry. Having said this, we need to look at what or how such collaborations can be a win-win situation for both the institutes and the industry alike. Being an event manager for quite a few years and being associated with NIEM, the Institute of Event Management, since many years, I can very well put up some benefits to the institutes that we have got from industry collaborations. One of the benefits that comes to my mind is the access to real-world learning. Honestly, books and classroom training can only take us so far. When students volunteer at a music fest, or they intern at a corporate launch, or manage backstage for a fashion show, that's when value-added learning can happen. Many of us might have worked on weddings like in our families or birthday parties of our friends, so you know what I'm talking about. You understand how theories learned in the classrooms can translate into practice in the real world, how the knowledge you learn is implemented in real life, how tight deadlines, unpredictable challenges, and real audiences will affect your work. You get a hands-on experience and you get to interact with those people who are actually putting up the show. Moreover, it's always a thrilling experience for the youngsters to stay up late nights and to have, friends bonding over the setups and to see sites take shape and is converted into a beautiful venue for that particular event. Classroom sessions might lack the quality of giving such thrilling experiences to students. And as a faculty, I'm talking from experience. The next benefit that can be given to institutes is curriculum enhancement. The world of events is very dynamic, my friends. 5 years ago, nobody talked about hybrid events or sustainability reports for concerts, but these are the standards today. By engaging with industry leaders, institutes can constantly update their curriculum, adding new models for new age topics like artificial intelligence, ARs or VRs in events, sustainability practices, influencer-led campaigns, and digital event platforms. This ensures that the student is not studying yesterday's syllabus, but the trends that are going to define tomorrow's events. Yeah. And the most important benefit that the Institute gets from such collaborations is placements and career opportunities. Strong industry-institute partnerships translate into better placements. When companies know that an institute is constantly producing industry-ready professionals, they come forward with opportunities for the students. Students don't just find jobs. They find mentors, career paths, and platforms to grow. I remember a young student of NIEM who was working on a musical festival. She was only supposed to give away or distribute wristbands at the entrance. But being an event enthusiast, she observed a lot of things that were going around, that were happening at the event. Right from how the backstage crew managed timings, how artists were handled, and how the crowd was controlled. The next year, she wasn't just a volunteer. For the same event, she was hired as a backstage manager. Today, she works with one of the largest event companies in India. That's the power of exposure that comes only through industrial partnerships. Hence, I keep telling my students in class that whenever you volunteer for events, don't just go there, do the work that you're told and come back. Learn, observe, come back with a little more knowledge than you had before going to that event, because I personally feel that every event is a powerhouse of knowledge. So, having discussed the benefits to the institutes, let's flip the coin and see what could be the benefits of such collaborations to the industry, to the event managers. From experience, I can say that event companies today struggle with one problem, and that is time. Projects come with extremely tight deadlines, and there's no room for training periods. Moreover, the event managers are constantly looking for reliable, dependable workforce, because in our industry, one error could cost the event manager an entire event. Hence, partnering with institutes creates a pipeline of trained, passionate talent, reducing induction costs, and allowing companies to get right into the planning and the execution process. Another advantage to the industry is new and creative ideation. Young minds bring what we sometimes lose with experience, and that is fearless creativity. Students are willing to experiment, try bold and new formats, and reimagine and redesign experiences. And combined with formal training, their abilities can break barriers. At times, I'm amazed how the kind of questions and insights my students put up in class are so innovative and so different that it makes me rethink of age-old concepts that we have been following for a few years. Industries can gain access to such fresh energy, new ideas, and innovative approaches that can set them apart in a competitive market. Apart from that, institutes can double up as the company's research and development labs. Together, they can test new audience engagement modules, new technologies like holographic performances or data-driven personalizations, without having to deviate from the pressure of project management or managing the events on hand. NIEM has partnered with many event companies started by ex-students or the alumni of NIEM and is working relentlessly on such platforms. On a non-business format, for the industry, supporting education is more than just talent development. In a way, they build reputations. Companies that mentor students are seen as visionaries, are seen as contributors to the society. It's more like corporate social responsibility, but with a much longer effect. And now that I'm thinking of it, I can also see a huge benefit to the ancillary service providers of our industry. Service providers like compares, DJs, photographers and videographers, various artists. When they collaborate with event institutes, they come in touch with event managers and thereby providing them with more opportunities of work. About a decade back, a wedding planning firm had collaborated with our college for a very casual discussion with the students. The students were asked to come up with a unique idea for the weddings. Back then, they suggested eco-friendly wedding plans, biodegradable decor, local vendors, digital invitations, limited food options, and the works. The planner took the idea to a real client. Not only was it appreciated, but it became a trend in their portfolio for many years to come. The students got recognition and the company got innovation. In fact, I feel that event was one of the first examples of sustainable event in our industry. That's partnership in action. Having considered some of the advantages to both the institute and the industry, a thought comes up. How exactly can this collaboration be designed? So let's look at some food for thought. Imagine a leading event planner coming to the campus of the college to share insights of the planning process he or she is following. Or maybe a sound engineer giving a live demo of the concert's acoustics or maybe a wedding designer conducting a full-day workshop where the students are asked to design a high-profile wedding. Students can gain knowledge, and the industry leaders get a platform to connect with future entrepreneurs. Not to mention any real creative idea that the company can implement from such discussions. This is the format of guest lectures and workshops, which is already being very widely used, but has a tremendous scope to be enhanced in the future. We can also look at joint certification and training modules. Why not have short-term courses jointly designed by institutes and event managers together? Specialized certification in areas like event technology, sustainability in events, celebrity management, and many more topics, which can set the students apart or give them an advantage in the job market. One of the most exciting areas, of course, is live project collaborations. Imagine working on live projects like managing a brand activation, coordinating volunteers at the IPL, handling logistics for a film award show like the IFAR or the Filmfare Awards, or even assisting in international expositions. These experiences build not only resumes, but they also build confidence. It can also give future event managers a small startup foundations. Connection with vendors and artists made at such projects can give the students an insight of how things work from the other side of the table, from the vendor side of the events. As a subset to this, some of you sitting over here may not want to work with companies. You might want to start off on your own. Industry mentorships can guide student-led startups, providing not just advice, but also access to networks, systems, and even seed funding. Something like incubation and startups. Some examples of such programs which I'm talking about can be event companies partnering with institutes for large festival volunteer programs like the IPL, Sunburn, national level pageants or film awards, etc. Technical partners like sound, light, audiovisuals, AR and VR firms offering hands-on workshops in campuses for the students to experience, or students assisting in celebrity management, wedding planning, corporate launches, gaining real-time exposure. In fact, I know a group of final year students who once created a small company for their college fest. They handled sponsorships, stage management, logistics, and the works, all within a very small budget, as usually is the case. Impressed, a corporate brand gave them a trial contract. Today, that student-led startup handles national-level companies. This wouldn't have been possible without the guidance and mentorship from industry experts, like some people sitting here. Friends, we looked at a lot of aspects of the industry-institute collabs, and we even looked at benefits to both the event managers and the institutes. But of course, partnerships do not come without challenges, without hurdles. So some of the hurdles that we all will have to iron out in the future are curriculum or the course syllabus could be misaligned with the industry needs, which would often leave students underprepared. Hence, the event managers and institutes will have to work in tandem to create course contents which are industry specific. Apart from that, we need to have long-term commitments. Both the event managers and the institutes will have to commit on a long-term basis. A short-term outlook may not be helpful. Maybe a guest lecture here and there, or maybe an occasional internship is not going to build long-term partnerships. We are going to have to look at years and years of partnering, coming together to make this idea successful. And then there is the reality of freelancing. Many talented professionals prefer freelancing today over full-time roles, full-time jobs, making it very difficult for companies to retain employees. Structured collaborations can help solve this by creating a steady talent flow. Coming to the fag end of my session, I would like to make an appeal to all the event managers of our industry. Let's come together to create structured partnerships between event management agencies and institutes for internships, training, and research. Let's develop a nationwide framework for industry academic collaborations in event management. Let's commit to conduct regular industry conclaves like this, hosted by joint institutes and associations to nurture ongoing dialogues and to give updated information. Let's encourage knowledge-sharing platforms where students and professionals come together and co-create. So, ladies and gentlemen, when industries and institutes collaborate, we don't just create events. We create an ecosystem of learning, of innovation and growth. We create professionals who are ready not for just for jobs, but for leadership. We create an industry that is brighter, stronger, and sustainable. And perhaps most importantly, we create stories. Stories of students who become leaders, stories of ideas who become trends, and perhaps partnerships that shape the future. So let's come together and put all these pieces of the jigsaw puzzle and create a wonderful picture of event management, which will go a long way in curating top-notch event managers for our industry. Thank you so much, people. Thank you for your patient hearing.